I woke up during my own autopsy and heard them discussing how much my organs would sell for. The cold metal against my back was the first sensation that returned. Then voices, distant and clinical, discussing numbers in thousands. The kidneys alone are worth 80,000 on the European market. Liver's probably good for another 60 if the toxicology comes back clean. I tried to scream, but my throat wouldn't work. My eyelids felt welded shut. I could hear everything but couldn't move. Couldn't signal that I was conscious and aware and absolutely not dead. A woman's voice cut through the haze. Dr. Vance, are we really doing this? This patient came in 3 hours ago with what looked like a routine overdose. The man, presumably Dr. Vance, responded with irritation. You want to keep working here? You follow protocol. We've got 6 people on the transplant list who will die without organs this month. This junkie threw his life away. At least his death can mean something. The words sliced through my paralyzed mind. Junkie. Overdose. They thought I'd tried to kill myself, but I hadn't taken anything. I'd gone to the emergency room because I couldn't breathe, because my chest felt tight and my vision was blurring. The last thing I remembered was a nurse saying something about stabilizing me. My name is Colin Mercer, and I'm a high school chemistry teacher. 32 years old, no criminal record, no drug history. The tightness in my chest that brought me to the ER had started during my 4th period class while explaining covalent bonds to disinterested sophomores. I'd driven myself to Riverside Memorial Hospital at 3 in the afternoon, checked in at triage, and waited 40 minutes in a plastic chair. When they finally called me back, a nurse took my vitals while I explained my symptoms. Chest pain, difficulty breathing, tingling in my left arm. She'd nodded and told me to wait for the doctor. A man in scrubs came in 15 minutes later, young, maybe late 20s, with a hospital badge that said Dr. Jeremy Ortiz. He'd listened to my heart, checked my oxygen levels, and said they wanted to run some tests. He'd put an IV in my arm, said it was just fluids and something to help me relax while they waited for test results. That's the last clear memory I have before waking up on this metal table. The voices continued above me. Heart's in excellent condition. We can harvest everything within the next 20 minutes if you're ready to make the calls. Dr. Vance sounded impatient, like he had somewhere else to be. I focused every ounce of energy on moving something, anything, a finger, a toe, my eyelids. Nothing responded. My body was a prison, and I was trapped inside, listening to strangers plan to dismantle me for profit. The woman spoke again. What about his family? The paperwork says he has an emergency contact listed. His sister, Rebecca Mercer. Shouldn't we notify her? Dr. Vance made a dismissive sound. The death certificate is already filed. Cause of death is fentanyl overdose. Clean, simple, happens every day in this city. His sister will be notified after the fact. Now prep the surgical bay. We're on a timeline here. Fentanyl overdose. They'd falsified my cause of death. This wasn't medical error or misdiagnosis. This was deliberate, organized, criminal. And I was the victim, conscious and aware, but completely helpless. The woman, whose name I still didn't know, hesitated before responding. Dr. Vance, I've worked with you for 3 years, and I've never questioned anything, but this feels different. This patient walked into the ER on his own. He wasn't brought in by paramedics, wasn't found unconscious somewhere. Someone's going to ask questions. The sound of metal instruments being arranged on a tray punctuated her words. Dr. Vance's response was cold and calculated. That's exactly why we chose him. Middle-aged, single male, lives alone, works a job nobody remembers past the school bell. His medical records show a prescription for anxiety medication from 2 years ago. Easy to build a narrative around mental health struggles and substance abuse. The tox screen will show fentanyl in his system because we put it there. Everything is documented. Everything is clean. My mind reeled. They'd researched me, selected me. This wasn't random opportunity. This was premeditated murder disguised as medical procedure. I heard footsteps, then a door opening. A third voice entered the room, older and authoritative. Full story is linked below or on my channel.